We're going to do a couple more examples here with some long division. So as we set up these problems, we're going to read the problem and use the sort of order in which we read them to set up the problem itself with our long division method. So our problem is 126 divided by 5. So as we read that, we say 126 is the dividend. It will be divided in the end. It goes inside. I'm going to actually move it up a little. It's going to go inside of our division house, 126, divided by, so we create our house of division, 5. 5 is our divisor. Has eyes looking inside the house, right? So now we're going to start using our process. So first we must divide, then we multiply. That's a multiply. And okay, that's multiply and subtract. Then we bring it down. Last thing we do is check, and then we can finally repeat. So when we think about this, that's kind of a repeat arrow. When we think about this, we're going to start at the top. So first we must divide. Well, we ask ourselves, how many times does 5 divide into 1? If I count by 5s, will I hit 1? No. In other words, it fits 0 times. Putting the 0 here as a placeholder is important so that your place value ends up staying lined up. So then we can say, okay, well, it didn't fit into 1, but what about 12? It does fit into 12. 5, 10, 15 is too much, so it fits 2 times, which is 10. So it fits twice, which is 10. So we've divided it. We said it divides into 12 twice. We multiplied. 5 times 2 is 10. So now we must subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. Then you bring it down. Well, what are we going to bring down? We're going to bring down our next available digit, which is a 6. And check. Does 5 fit into 26? Well, yeah, it does. So we're going to repeat our steps to find out how many times. 5 fits into 26 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. Then we must subtract, which is 1. There's nothing else to bring down, so this becomes our remainder, which we call 1 out of, what's our divisor? 5. So 126 divided by 5 is 25 and 1/5. So our next problem here is 2,906 divided by 6. So as we read it, we're going to use that as a tool to set it up. 2,906 comes first. It's our divisor. So that goes inside of our house of division, 2,906. Divided by becomes our house of division and our divisor, 6. Okay, so now we want to set up our steps. So first we must divide, then we multiply and subtract, then we bring it down. Last thing you do is check, and then you can spiral and repeat as needed. Okay, so we're going to ask ourselves, how many times can our divisor fit into each of these numbers kind of sequentially? 2 comes first. How many times does 2 fit into 6? If I count by 6s, will I hit 2? No. In other words, it fits 0 times. Well, what about 29? Sure. How many times? So how many times does it divide in? 6, 12, 18, 24. Then we get 30, which is too much. So it fits 4 times, which divided in 4 times. You put it up in the quotient spot and multiply. 6 times 4 is 24. And subtract. So we multiplied and subtract, which gets us a 5. It's a 5. Then you bring it down. What are we bringing down? Our next digit. Our digit happens to be a 0. And check. Does 6 fit into 50? Yes, it does. So we want to repeat our steps to find out how many times. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. 54 is too much. So 48 is 8 times. 6 times 8 is 48. I'm trying to keep it lined up here, nice and tidy. We have 2 left over. Then we bring it down and check. Does 6 fit into 26? Well, yeah, it does. It fits 4 times, which is 24. And we have 2 left over. 2 left over, which becomes 2 out of our divisor of 6. This can now be simplified to 484 1/3. There we go.